All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Badash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakathum. And the title of this lesson is going to be Delayed Gratification is Biblical. Okay, delayed gratification is biblical. All right, now the main precept I'm going to base this out of is Proverbs the 25th chapter. But you know, this concept, which, you know, modern day philosophers will try to say that delayed gratification is something that they came up with, or is something that's really, really important. But, you know, when you look at the root of all good wisdom, it really roots back to the scriptures, man. Okay, how many proverbs that are written down in the book of Proverbs that was translated to the English? All right, how much of those are just the variation of many other wise sayings, you know, that came later, or people claim that they have a wise saying, but when you really look back at it, the scriptures already had this down pat, man. All right, now what is delayed gratification? And to pull that up, delayed gratification, you see here, the act of resisting an impulse to take an immediately available reward in the hope of obtaining a more valued reward in the future. All right, this sums up our entire walk, man, in the ministry of Yahushua, man. The things that we're having to do, we have to forsake things, man. Okay, we have to forsake things that are pleasing to our flesh. Okay, because although that may be a short-term reward, ultimately it's going to be counterintuitive to the long-term reward. You see, that's where discipline comes in. I was just watching the video about Floyd Mayweather, all right, about how he's very, very misleading, because I think Joe Rogan mentioned it. Well, he's the only guy that can have all of this money and clout and got all of these supercars and all of this jewelry on, all right, but never lost his discipline. That's what people make the mistake about Floyd Money Mayweather. They think they see him in the clubs. He's not drinking alcohol in those clubs, man. When he's at the club, he's getting paid to be there. He's scheduling it, and oftentimes he would run home from the club. You see, so it looked like it on paper. So Jake sees all of that, the flashiness of it. But the real thing that made him great was what? He really never lost his discipline. He was always training. He treated his body like a true temple, man. All right, and then you see the outcomes of it in his fighting career, man. All right, and that's a really good example of how the whole thing works, because that's basically what we're doing, man. Our flesh is riled up to do the thing in the most immediate vicinity. All right, but we have to have the filter, the spiritual filter, to say yes and no to these things, man. Now, let me get the precept that I had. This is Proverbs 25 and 28. It says, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls," man. All right, that's very true. But the scriptures also say, conversely, he that ruleth his spirit can take a whole city. Okay, so the difference between winning and losing, all right, really is going to boil down to your discipline, man. Especially if you have the truth, you were given the name, you know, you have the understanding of what's going on, you got the basics and the fundamentals. All you really need is the discipline, man. And this is the thing that you should be praying for, honestly. That should be part of one of the core things that you pray for. We pray to get out of here. We pray to the elected sealed. You know, we pray for the health and well-being of the Akim that are in the faith. And you pray for discipline. That's part of what's in, when you read Psalms 51st chapter, King David, when he's repenting to the Most High and sorrowful, man. All right, he's saying, "Create in me a clean heart, okay, and renew in me a right spirit." Well, that means he's gonna have a discipline about him, man. Why does our right spirit need to be renewed in us? Because if it's not renewed, okay, our flesh is going to start making decisions for us. And the dynamic between what our flesh, the decisions our flesh makes versus the decisions our spirit makes, that's discipline, okay? And we all need discipline, okay? In the kingdom, when we get those bodies, man, it's not even going to be a need for it, because the thing that we want to do will be righteous. There's not going to be this enmity between our flesh and our spirit, all right? We're going to be dominant. We're going to be the dominant rulers on the planet Earth, man, all right? Righteousness is going to reign, man, you know? But in the meantime, in between time, all right, what things do we have to focus on, man? All right. Now, there's another one that says, yeah, Proverbs 16, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Proverbs 16:32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. All right. So the scriptures is basically telling you it's better to have control over a little bit, okay, than to be wild and chaotic with a lot. Okay, there's a balance to things, you know. The scriptures also say, "In patience possess ye your souls." That's written in Luke. What is this? What does this concept mean? It's about denying the short term, okay, in hopes of getting the long term. And ultimately, our long term is unfathomable. It's unfathomable. Okay, it's unfathomable. We can't even break down, you know, a fraction of all of what we're gonna get in the kingdom. So, isn't all of this delay worth it, man? That's the main point. The delay of all of the pleasures of this world is more than worth it, man. All right, we got to get the demons off of us that feel the need to satisfy our flesh every so often, man. Maybe you need to stop eating certain sweets, man. Maybe you need to give up alcohol for a little bit, okay? Just to get your spirit tuned in. Maybe you need to go on a fast, okay? Maybe you need to get in the scriptures and read more, man. You know, this thing is maintenance, man. All right, we have to remember we're building blocks and stones of a temple, all right, and it's a requirement for us to have our integrity, man. You can't have rocks with a crack in it and it's about to give way. If that's gonna put pressure on a bunch of other rocks. All right. Now the rock next to it may have more than enough integrity in it to not crack as well, but what if the other rock next to it doesn't, man? You see? So everybody needs to have as a man, you know, you need to have discipline. Okay? And this is why I say delayed gratification is biblical, because you see this all throughout the scriptures, man. Follow not a multitude to do evil. What does that mean? I mean, it's easy to follow a multitude. When you just go with the crowd, nobody's gonna scoff at you. Nobody's gonna, you know, make you a proverb or a byword, because you're going along with the flow. It's much harder to not follow the multitude. Okay? But when you deny that, you go the straight path. That's another one. Go into ye in at the straight gate. What does that mean, man? Take the more difficult path. Don't take the most pleasurable and easy one, man. All right? Why? Because it's a delayed gratification. Now, when you go to second, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to second Esdras to end this off. All right? I believe it's the second chapter, because that's a beautiful point. I'm just thinking of it now. Okay? Of the delay, man. All right, this is second Esdras chapter 7 verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me an angel, the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. Speaking about the angel Uriel. All right, and he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it may be deep and great. But put the case in the entrance were narrow like a river. It says, Who then will go up into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set up on a broad field. It is full of good things. Now, this city in the broad field is speaking about the kingdom, all right, parabolically, okay? And it says, the verse 7, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a place, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right and on the left deep water. So you have this field that's in a wide open area full of good things, okay? That's the kingdom. But what is the pathway to get there, man? It's narrow. There's water on this side, there's fire on this side. In order for you to navigate it, what does it require, man? Discipline, okay? It requires balance, okay? You need the discipline to move forward on the straight path, and then you need the balance to not fall off on that journey. You see? So these are the requirements for the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, breaking it down in a more simple way, you know. And it applies to everything, man. Our diet, you know, our exercise routine, you know, our studying, all right, our discipline when it comes to women and indulging things. Maybe you play too many video games, whatever the case may be. We have areas in our life of improvement, and this is why the scriptures say, examine yourself, all right, because that's a very, very important thing. But notice, before you get to the broad field, what has to happen? All right, you have to go through the straight and narrow, man, and that's the point, man. So I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachak Shalom. Come Yashra.